where we interview real people telling real truths and stories. The overall objective here is to break the negative narratives that plague our communities and minds. The biggest one we aiming to attack is that there are no more good men and women out here. Stand up men and women. The men and women we actually need in positions to help change our community for the better. All right, Madeline.
All right, let's do
Welcome
this
to Big
thing.
Flex Overdose.
Thank you. Excited
How you feeling
to be
today?
here. I feel very good. Liberated, actually.
Good.
A lot of things have been happening in my life where I'm just like, what? Like, this happened to me? Like, I feel great. Like, you know, life can be challenging,
Facts.
as we know, but also within the challenges, life can bring so many gifts and so many blessings. And sometimes we don't see them because they're so tiny. So today has taught me to appreciate more small things, like even just wiggling my fingers and my toes. Like, what if you don't have toes to wiggle or fingers to wiggle? Like, you appreciate those things because a lot of people don't get to enjoy those things that stimulate them. So, you know, I'm gonna wiggle my toes and my fingers more, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, I get exactly what you're saying because my daddy had lost both his legs like right when I was born.
Wow.
So he showed me the importance of legs and how traumatic or how life-changing it is to not have them. Like, those are literally your wheels on your body. And once you lose those, you dependent on everybody around you.
Exactly.
Like, it's 100 times harder to do shit. And growing up with that, like, I took my body seriously because he showed me, like, man, then he died with pancreatic cancer. So he showed me how important it is to health as well. You know?
Health as well.
So yeah, I just stopped smoking weed. Now I'm finna lean off the tobacco. So that's the next step, because that shit,
It doesn't do it. That's crazy because, like, you know, it makes you sleepy. It makes you, like, not want to do anything. It just doesn't make you really, like, productive. And then also it takes out so much time in your day that you could be doing something else productive. Like, you gotta sit down, you gotta roll up, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta prep. I could be focusing on something else that's way more positive than this. Or, you know, if you smoke a cigar, or you still gotta, like, light it, you gotta go find it. What if you lose it? Like, it's so much energy that's put into that. So where you could be potentially put it into something else that's where you can give something out to the world. Because if you smoking weed, and what are you giving out to the world?
That was the biggest difference I noticed. Like, my production level skyrocketed once I stopped the weed.
Yep.
And to touch on what you just said with the tobacco, like, I stopped putting cologne and shit on. I stopped wanting to smell good because I'm like, what's the point if I'm gonna just smell like smoke? You know, but now I'm in school, motherfuckers not gonna go for that.
Exactly.
You're not gonna be able to go to the class feel like all cigarettes or black and mild. The ladies will not talk to you.
Oh, at all. 100%. You will no love. No love. I know I walk past people like, man, they smell like cigarettes and this, that, but
hey, I'm glad I don't drink coffee, because that cigarette breath and coffee, that shit.
Man, I'm glad I'll drink hot chocolate. I'll drink coffee every now and then, but
I stay the fuck away from that shit.
Yeah, it harms your teeth too. So
that too. Yeah. But okay, on you. We on you.
Yes.
This is about you.
Yes. Okay.
Let's start with your name.
My name. Well, Hi guys. My name is Shanavia Evans, and I'm originally from Mississippi. But I moved to St. Louis probably about 6 months ago, and people always ask me, why did you choose St. Louis?
I swear that was my next question.
Did you choose St. Louis? No reason. I'm going to be completely honest with you right now. No reason at all. I just woke up one day and was like, I don't want to be in Mississippi anymore. So I just moved. And I just figured out my way here. I didn't have any plans. I mean, I had some stuff that was kind of, it wasn't really even set in stone. It was like, okay, today I could get this job or not, but I'm going to go to the interview. And that's just kind of how it was. But, you know, I applied for places all over this world. I'm not even joking with you. I applied to places in California. I applied to places in New York, Florida, here, literally Las Vegas, everywhere.
What?
Everywhere. My application was out there. And something just kept pushing me to St. Louis. I was getting callbacks. And I found a great marketing company that I was like, ooh, like I would work here. The money was good. I was like, okay, well, it's way more than I'm making now because I can't do anything right now. And so it was just like, I don't know, something was just telling me move here, move here, move here, move here, even without a set plan. So I think my mission here or my purpose here being in St. Louis is to change people's mindsets. It's to change the world in general, but St. Louis for some reason has a very, I want to say like condescending like feel sometimes, because you'll have people that's like, oh, I absolutely love St. Louis. St. Louis is everything. Then some people are like, oh, the crime rate is terrible. Don't move here. So some people are scared to move to St. Louis, because I know at once upon a time I was, because of the crime rate, because of how people project what St. Louis is instead of looking at the beauty of St. Louis. Right. So, I want to bring, while I'm here for however long God has me here, I want to bring out the beauty of St. Louis, not the crime rate, even though that is something that is very important, and that is something that the government or the mayor, whoever, needs to really tackle. The community, yes, we all need to come together and kind of figure that out. But at the same time, it starts with us looking at the positive aspects of St. Louis. If we keep looking at, oh, this person's not going to help me because of their race. This person's not going to help me because of their status, their job status. This person, no. Like, how do you know if you never put yourself in that situation? If you've never been in their shoes either, but you got to try. We have to try to get everybody together, or as many people as we can together, to make St. Louis a better place. So, I know that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm trying to put myself in different situations and different instances so I can help build a community, and not just me here, oh, I'm just building myself, I'm just focused on myself. Like, yes, that's important, but at the same time, my love goes out to the community in general. So, yeah.
And to add on to that, to bring another perspective that you may have not seen, St. Louis is becoming like Dallas was for Floridans, if I think I'm saying that right. Like, it's a lot of money starting to flow through her. It's a lot of money coming back here. And so I think God in the universe put you here because us young people who start to make an impact, to start businesses and to start those businesses to grow, we will be the face of St. Louis in 10 to 20 years. Right. And I think he put you here to help plant those seeds, because it's a lot of money. It's a lot of big companies that's 100%. Coming to St. Louis to set up, and referring to the condescending tone you was talking about, that's because, in my opinion, how I want to say it, you can be who you are here. And what I mean by that, people will tell you the naked truth whether you like it or not. And I like that. It's all about their experiences. So most of the people who said St. Louis was bad is probably some lazy working ass robots, like hey, generation of slaves. You never know. Because there's so much opportunity here. It's hidden. I ain't gonna say it's hidden. It's buried under the bullshit. So you really gotta scuffle and scrape through the bullshit to see it. But once you find them little 2 to 3 opportunities,
it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Like, when I started going to Word Up, and I'm like, okay, Word Up, are there any more poetry spots? And then, like, it's more poetry. I'm like, where is all of this stuff coming from? Like, it's not like I'm in my car and I drive past this place and I'm like, oh, that could be a great place for me to go do poetry. It's literally about making connections through different people and through the community that builds a bigger community. And then with you building a bigger community, you are finding spaces where people aren't even from here that come here. And they come to those places that, want to build a community, and then they become involved. So then not only are you getting people that are in St. Louis, you're getting people outside of St. Louis, and they're joining in, they're chiming in, and they tell their friends, and then their friends tell their friends, and they're coming back. So, like, it's literally, like you just said, all about finding those little gems, those diamonds in the rough, and scuffling through all of that BS to finally see something that can flourish, bringing the community together and just blowing it up. Like, that's literally what I've been trying to say to people. I'm like, can you get this in your brain? Like, this is how this works. Maybe it doesn't work in your brain, but it works in my brain this way. And I promise you, throughout life, I feel like I've built a lot of people. I've built myself up. I've built a lot of businesses up. Like, I feel like some businesses wouldn't run because if I was never there, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if I didn't put my spark and my pixie dust in these places, it may have never prospered and grown. Like, I've planted seeds. You know what? I don't even want to say I've planted seeds. I want to say that I marinated the soil before I planted those seeds, because it's all about the soil before you plant the seeds. So I was able to get to that ground level with people and then plant seeds on top of that and on top of that and watch beautiful stuff grow.
I'm a living testimonial. Shit, I know you finna help me blow, like, and not even this shit. I'm talking about the brand part. Like, I know.
Oh, baby, it's a wrap. Like, I'm telling you,
because you got to think about it. Like I've talked and dealt with a lot of different people that claim to be social media marketers or things like that, but the biggest difference that I've already seen is action. Like, as soon as you got here, you making videos, you showing content, you giving me perspectives that, like, why didn't these motherfuckers never give me? You know, and now it's just like, I need to give you the value I have, even if that is the money I come across, or even if it's my energy. Like, I'm giving it to you because of what you just said. Like, you know how to marinate some shit and then plant your seeds rather than trying to just come take seeds.
Exactly.
You know?
That's not 100%. No, don't want to do that. Even if I'm down in the dumps, whatever, and you get wealthy before me, do your thing. That's what I want. I care about myself, yes, 100%. But at the same time, there's nothing like me giving my gifts that God has blessed me with back to the community. There's nothing more greater than that for me. Ever, will never be. Because what I was blessed with, I need to give back, because God didn't only give these gifts and this talent only for myself. If he wanted it for himself or for myself, he would have never given it to me. You know what I'm saying?
That's the most humblest statement I've heard. That's statements I make. You know?
Yeah, because that's what you want to do. Like, that's why we down there. I'm like, can I film content? Because I want to create a safe space with you, with anybody in general. You know, I'm not all about, let me call you and say, I'm going to do this and that. No, let me show you what I'm going to do. Let me put this video together for you so I can show you what I'm going to do. That's why I pulled up the social media content and stuff that I've already created previously, because I'm a visual person. I could talk all day. Love to talk. 100%. I do. But when I start showing you stuff and your mind is blown, I'm like, yeah, this is where I want to be, because now you see what I can do. Now let's put this together, work this out, put it out there, see what feedback we get, and then let's work from there. Let's build from there. You know, and like you just said, that's the difference between people that say and do. You know, you can have somebody come in here, they're like, oh yeah, like, I'll do all this for you, and don't do anything.
I don't even hear from the niggas.
You don't even hear from them anymore. But it's the people that actually take initiative as soon as they step through the door that's going to make the difference. I did that with my friends. I did that with my family. I did that at my jobs, everywhere. Like, the biggest challenge I've had this entire year, and the year just started, so I'm going to say this entire month, is my brother passing away and me being the designer in my family. So guess who's making the obituaries? I am. Guess who has to? Oh, hell yes.
I know it was loving it. I know you laughed your ass off at the same time, though, looking at the picture.
Yes. Like, I cried, I laughed, I was frustrated, I was irritated, I was about to cuss everybody out, because I'm like, y'all leave me alone. I only got to cut, because, like, he passed, and then I only had like a couple days, like 4 or 5 days to get an obituary done. 2 of them, actually, because we did 2. So I had to create 2 obituaries and a PowerPoint slide full of all of his pictures and stuff like that. So that's 3 projects that I got to get finished in a week.
And you still had
couple
obligations
days.
here you had to deal
Then we
with.
got 300, 400 people at our house every single day. So I'm trying to create this obituary around all of these people talking, all this commotion, people crying, people laughing, people eating, people drinking. So I got all of this energy surrounded by me, and I can't even like fold up into my own energy because I'm being not necessarily controlled, but I'm being surrounded by so much other stuff. So I, wasn't able to tap into myself and my grieving until I got back home, where I'm just like by myself, which kind of sucks sometimes, but at the same time, like I know this is what I need in order for me to grieve and for me to process through things. Like I'm not a loner all the time because I like to socialize and stuff like that, but when I'm going through something that is very traumatizing and I have to really dig deep into my emotions, I isolate myself sometimes. Because I feel like sometimes that's the only way for me to be able to breathe.
And that's some good introspection.
Yeah.
A disclaimer I want to give you, and I'm sure you already know,
Mm-hmm.
but I want you to keep this in the back of your mind, or even in the front of your mind, the side of your mind. Like, keep this in your fucking head. Like,
okay.
St. Louis is one of those places to where if people starting to see you are who you are, they will just take and take and take and don't give nothing back to you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people still fucked up here. After those stimulus checks and unemployment, motherfuckers was getting bans, but that shit is gone now. So now motherfuckers getting back into that crab in the bucket mentality.
Right.
So be careful. Like I was telling Cindy, you can give as much as you want, but make sure you're demanding at least half of what you're giving.
Exactly.
And that's to keep people at face value, keep people honest with you. Because once they see, like, damn, you only charging $100 to do this, like, damn, they gonna start filling you up with shit, and it'll get to a point to where it's not worth the $100 no more. It's worth $500.
Right.
And don't be afraid to. I need $500. Put your foot
down.
And also think, don't give all of that content and sauce out. Like, like I'm finna send you the folder. The videos you make and the content you get, don't just throw that shit in my folder. Wait until you ready to
present it.
And not even that. Wait until it's the time for it and then throw it in there. Be like, what you think? Don't just, as soon as you make it and it's done, don't just throw it. Don't just give people that shit out, because motherfuckers will take advantage. I won't. I can't let you give me more value than I give you.
Right, yeah.
Because I feel like a simp. But like, I know how people work here. I know how people work here.
Yeah.
But
well, hopefully my goal in life in general is to kind of change people's mindsets, and that's why like I started to go into marketing and like business consulting, because I seen how people treated their employees. I seen how people were getting lowballed and stuff like that when it came to their job. Even me being in situations where I wasn't 100% treated with respect, and how I was lowballed for pay and things like that. And I'm just like, you know what? I want to help people out of this. And that starts with the company.
Facts.
That starts with the CEO. That starts with the partners. That starts with the investors. That starts with at the top. That doesn't start at the bottom. Because if you have an empire and you start at the bottom with the people that are pissed off, they're mad, they're upset, they're only going to tell you, oh, I'm pissed off, I'm mad, I'm upset because I don't have enough money to take care of my family. I work very long hours, so I don't spend that much time with my family in general. And my boss is a fucking asshole.
And your boss got you doing bullshit.
Exactly. That's not even helping you elevate or grow. So that's why I say always, when it comes to corporations and stuff like that, or just any small business in general, if you don't have happy employees, that starts at the top. So my goal is to get to the top. Okay, who's the CEO? Who's the owner? Can we do team building moments? Like, where can I get feedback? Where are you guys lacking? As a CEO, where are you lacking? Are you not confident enough in your abilities to where you're throwing it off all on your employees? Do you just not have your life together to the point where, you are upset and angry every single time you come into work? So that also is your marriage not working? Is your family falling apart? Like, what is happening to where you are implementing all of this negative energy on people that are here, they are employed here to help you grow? Because without these employees, you wouldn't be anything. You would just be a person sitting in your office trying to figure everything out, trying to juggle everything at once. Everything requires a community. That's why we are all one. We are all one in everything that we do. I don't care if you got to go get gas. Like I told somebody, I was like, you got to realize these people that wake up every day and go to the gas station, they are committed. We wouldn't be able to get gas if they didn't go to work.
Fact. But let's roll this back real quick.
Yes. I know we be everywhere. You know how we
let's
are.
roll this back.
Yes.
So, how was life in Mississippi? How was you growing up? What were some challenges? What were some beauties?
Mississippi, Lord. Biggest challenge in Mississippi, I'll start with that, was growing up. I mean, it's a Bible Belt state, and I'm a lesbian. So, I mean, that should say a lot about Mississippi in general. But
threw that out there.
I'm just saying, like, it is a Bible Belt state. They're very traditional. Some people are stuck in their ways. I think that Mississippi still needs a lot of improvement. The biggest challenges growing up was just people and their mindsets. People always think that I was kind of weird because I listened to all different types of music. I wasn't really into like drinking or smoking and stuff like that. Even not kindergarten, but even middle school and like high school, I just wasn't into that crowd. I just wasn't into that thing. So people kind of thought that I was a little weird.
Where did you graduate?
What year? 2016.
Okay, so that means you're 24?
25. I just turned 25.
25. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was difficult, but
do you have any stories?
I think the biggest story that I have, just growing up Black, lesbian in Mississippi, is being surrounded by people that knew that you were great, but try to kind of like downplay you most times. Like, I was the captain of everything: cheer squad, track team, organizations I was in. I was always the captain. No joke. Like, it was a lot of responsibility, yes, but the challenges through that was having people look up to you but not really understand you. That makes sense. Yeah. Like, they would look up to me, but they're like, well, I don't get why she's gay. I don't understand. I don't want her to see me get undressed or anything like this because she's gay. Maybe she's going to look at me. Yeah, 100%.
So was it diversity or was it just white and Black people?
Not really a lot of diversity. It was minority Black people that I went to school with.
Was it a lot of farmland or was it like city bound?
Oh, definitely farmland. Okay. Mississippi is the country.
So it ain't no walking.
Oh, no. I mean, you can walk, but I mean, me going to school is like a 15-minute drive.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really ride the bus, but if I did ride the bus, I had to go in the city, in the vicinity, because I lived out in the country. So, like, the bus wasn't about to take me out there.
So did you grow with cattle?
No, I didn't. I mean, I had around me a lot, and horses, and I've seen chickens and goats. I've seen everything. Sheep. I mean, I've seen everything. I mean, it's the country, so.
Do you ride horses?
Yes.
Oh, I know that was fun.
I do.
I know that was fun.
I've probably ridden horses maybe like 2 or 3 times, but I ride horses though.
That's crazy. Okay. That's crazy. You got the energy to take one on. Shit.
Oh yeah, I love horses. That's one of my spirit animals besides butterflies.
So with people not really understanding you, and well, because you're a lesbian, was it hard to find relationships, or was it hard to maintain relationships?
Yeah, my mom was not going for that at all. So I never really was in a relationship.
For real?
Ever.
Describe what a relationship would be like.
Like going on dates, things like that, with like your girlfriend or boyfriend mindset in high school. I never did that in high school. If I did, I was sneaking out and doing it. Introducing like them to your parents, kind of like you see on the movies, they'll have somebody come over, or just in real life in general, like they'll invite their girlfriend over from school and you'll introduce them to your parents and stuff like that. That wasn't an opportunity that I had, because I only dated women. So like my mom is not about to be like, yeah, invite your girlfriend over. No.
Did you have your dad in your life?
So I have 3 fathers. Here's a story of my life. I have my stepdad, I have my biological father, and I also have my dad that I grew up with that basically was my father figure. Another one of my father figures throughout my life. So my stepdad, he came around when I was like, my mom said 10, but I remember like 7.
Okay.
My dad that I call dad, he's been my dad since I was born.
That's how that works.
Yeah, that's how it works. My biological father, he passed away when I was 15.
Okay.
Had no clue who he was. Didn't even know that it was a possibility of him like being my father until he passed away. So once he passed away, that's when like we ended up getting DNA tests and stuff like that. So that's why I say I have 3 dads, because I really truly do. And that's where all of my other brothers and sisters and stuff come from, because before it was just me, my other brother that just passed, and then it was my younger brother on my mom's side, and that's all that I knew, like until I was 15. And then once he passed away, that added on my other brothers and sisters that I have.
So when your biological passed, did it affect you in any type of way?
100%.
I thought you didn't know him like that.
I did know him, but think about like you having like this father figure that you call dad your entire life, and then you are like, oh no, that's all a lie. Actually, he's not really your dad.
So that's how it was.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's some Charlotte Webb type of shit.
Not Charlotte Webb. Yes, hey. Literally, I grew up with this man thinking that he was my father my entire life until I turned 15. My biological father passed away, and they're like, nope, he's not really your dad, even though you grew up with him your entire life.
So how did that affect you? Did it build resentment for your mama?
I think so. I definitely think so, a little bit, simply because like I'm like, why didn't you tell me? Like, I don't think that there are any excuses behind not telling somebody why their biological people aren't their biological people. Like, you could tell me. Like,
you must not have kids.
No.
So yeah, you
I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand.
Yeah,
like,
once
I don't.
You have kids, because
it's a different type of
Like when kids get here, none of that shit matters. Yeah. The only thing that matters is making sure this alien grows up to be something.
Damn aliens. Oh my God.
I show you the pictures of my daughter when she came out the womb. You're like, that's definitely an alien. I promise
Goodbye.
you. But seriously though, like none of that matters.
I totally get that. So
to you it does, but to them no.
It doesn't exactly. It's all about like making sure everything is like okay with them. You don't really think about yourself either.
Facts.
You don't think about yourself. So like I used to resent my mom for that, but now that me and my mom have this amazing relationship, I don't resent her anymore because I understand more now. Like my mom has apologized for everything. She has told me stories of why she didn't. I feel like if there's no explanation behind why you decided to do what you did, then that could create more turmoil. So like speaking for all parents and everybody in general, have an explanation. You know what I'm saying?
Facts stuff.
Just have an explanation, and not a bullshit explanation. Like an actual like, look, I wasn't the best parent at that time. I didn't know how to go to these 2-3 men and let them know that, maybe they are the father. I was a kid myself. I didn't understand what it was like raising a kid. A valid ass explanation, not just some BS of, oh, well, I just didn't want that to be your daddy. Like my mom never told me that. She never told me that. My mom broke it down piece by piece on why she made certain decisions that she made in her life. And it made so much sense because now that I'm a grown up, I'm like, oh, yes, we have to make certain sacrifices in order to be mentally okay. We really do have to make certain sacrifices for ourselves, for our families, for our kids, just in general. So, I was appreciative of that, but it did affect me in a way where I lost my mind a little bit. I had people telling me, oh yeah, that's your mom just told you because she wants the money. And things like that. So like I felt bullied for a while. Other people may not feel like they bullied me, but I did feel bullied for a while because I'm just like, dude, I just lost my dad. You guys are basically trying to tell me that my mom is only doing certain things or I'm only doing certain things because of the money. And it's a very small town, so like
news travel.
Yeah, news travel. And then I have people coming up to me telling me, oh, I knew this already. I'm like, okay, if you knew it already, what was my input? What was my invite? But they're like, no, I didn't think that it was like it was my place to tell you and everything. But I'm like, why are you telling me now? Why are you telling me that you knew that he was my dad after he's gone? And you wasn't going to my mom saying, hey, you know, maybe you want to tell Shay before something happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
one thing I learned about elders is, like I was telling Coach Mack in our interview I did with him, to try to get into their mindset, you really gotta try to understand what life was like without technology, without the internet, because the access to information they had, it wasn't that it was minimal, because it definitely was. Like, stuff did not move as fast as it moved now. Like, true. Education was not around. Games, all of this stuff was around, to where it's like the things we want to focus on now, they didn't have no time, energy, or space to focus on it. So they literally had to survive, because it was a war against them. It was a silent war against them. So a lot of the actions that we feel could have been avoided, like you try being in those shoes. You try being in Mississippi in 1980, when the only car around was a Charger, a motherfucking Camaro, and that shit was a couple $100,000 or $1,000, like, and you just couldn't afford it. Like, you tried, I don't know, but yeah. So it's like,
it makes sense.
Like, you know, but I'm glad you mended their relationship, because a lot of people would have that resentment still. You know, so that shows me that you have love in your heart. You're not a bad person.
Always.
But coming out of high school, what were some plans you had?
Ooh, coming out of high school, so
College?
many. Did
you go to college?
I did. Okay. I got my bachelor's at the University of Southern Mississippi.
That's what's up.
In public relations and marketing. Yes.
That's why you so hard. You got the education.
What? Yes. But coming out of high school, I don't know. My plan was just getting out of the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, man, I gotta get this scholarship. I gotta go. Like, I don't want to be here no more. But that was because I didn't feel like I was accepted, you know, by my sexuality. So I'm like, well, in order for me to be free and do what I want, I need to leave.
Did that change when you left?
Did that change what?
When you left?
Did you
start to become more accepting in college? Accepted?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. Because I started standing up for myself more. You know, I would just kind of like be the person that kind of hid in the shadows and things like that. But once I got to college and stuff, it's crazy because right before I left, I told my mom, I was like, you know what, Mom, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to try and date men. I'm going to do this. I'm going to try and do it for you. I really did. Like, that was my goal. Like, I was like, I'm going to try both, but I can't promise you. And that's what I told her. So I did. And I hated it. So that's why it's not like that I didn't try.
Why did you hate it?
I just felt like
niggas dirty.
No, guys are weird. Like I was talking to this one guy.
White or black?
White. They were both white.
See, that's.
I mean, but all I dated in like middle school and like kind of high school was black guys.
Okay.
So like I was like, okay, well I don't like black guys, so let me try white guys. That still didn't work either. I just wasn't attracted. Like, I'm sitting at dinner and I'm just like, no.
Was it like biological or more so philosophical beliefs?
It was just their mentality. You know, how they thought, what they talked about. Like, I sat at the table with one guy, he talked about his ex the whole time. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. And then this other guy, he was just, I don't know, he was just weird.
So how are women better?
I don't think that women are necessarily better.
It's just your preference.
It's just my preference, like, because I don't want to say that women are better than men or men are better than women and things like that, because like I don't see life in that way. I think that we all prosper in different aspects and we're all on different journeys in our life. So with me coming to the reasons why I like women, I just like women because they are so vibrant. Not saying that men aren't vibrant and things like that, but I'm attracted to women because of their intellectual ability. Yes, their bodies too. Oh my God,
Hey, I'm
Jesus,
with you on that one.
that's a plus.
Hey,
Cause Lord, some
I'm with
beautiful
you on that
women
one.
out here.
I have to catch myself sometimes. I'm
Yes,
staring too hard.
yes, but like their mindsets, how they think about life, their spiritualities, their intellectual abilities, their drive, not being able to. Because some women think about oh, we wasn't able to own apartments and cars and things like that without being serviced by a man. Like back then, like it had to be a man with a woman. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just liberating to see independent women that are doing things without men simply because we grew from that factor where we could do things on our own. We aren't somewhere where we're just washing dishes and having the kids and things like that. Like, yes.
You don't think that would lead to the destruction of our society?
No.
Why not?
Why would it?
Because if women are independent and in a mindset that they may not need a man, you got to think of reproduction. Like,
but all women aren't like that. All women aren't independent. All women aren't like that. Just that's all people in general. The
higher intellectual women, if we start losing those, because you got to think about it like this, right? How a society grows economically and societally. Like, you have the young people. The young people are basically the laborers, the laborers. Then you have the middle-aged people, the 20 to 30, 20 to 40. They are the business owner. They are the economy. They are the ones that's making the money move.
Right.
And then you have the elders. They are the investors. They the one that push the money back into the economy. So if most of our intellectual women, or even some of them, stop
reproducing,
then the bottom line starts to disappear.
Well,
so at some point they catch up to the elders.
Right, yeah. But there's no such thing as running out of sperm.
It's deeper than that, though.
Right, but
then what makes us different from robots?
You're not, what I mean by that is there's always going to be sperm. So there's always, you got to think about, look, I'm thinking about the men that want to give their sperm away and don't want to have kids. Like they don't want.
It's not that many of them.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, why are all these women single and they are raising their kids on their own?
Because most of the men got locked up or killed. It's not because of most men want to be in their kids' life. I can promise you that.
I don't think that, because I feel like if that was the case, then why didn't my dad want to be in my life? And he had 7, 8 different other kids.
You're a strong person, and I know, or I would like to say, you got most of that from your mama.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's hard for a man to stick around an independent woman because you take away the use of the man. Like, if you want to have just as much say-so in this house, how can I be a man? How can I express myself as a man? And I don't know if that's the reason, but like I could see that being a reason. Like, not to throw shots at your mama, but it's like what makes her different from a man? Just the physical. Like, if the mental there, like, nigga, I'm calling the shots, I'm doing this, it diminishes his spirit and breaks his spirit. And like Mike Tyson say, a woman makes a man. A woman reconfirms to a man that he's a man by relinquishing that what's the word I'm looking for? That control.
Right.
But let's get back on you. Okay. Yes. So getting to your bachelor's in marketing. Was it hard? Was it hard?
100%.
How many years did you stay in school?
4.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I did 4 years at USM, and my last semester, COVID happened. So I was in the process of being like an in-person student. Like, I don't really learn virtually. I'm not like I do now. I'm better at it now, but that was because when COVID happened, right at spring break, we never went back.
So you got your diploma through the mail? I mean, your basically, bachelor's through the mail?
Yeah, basically. Okay. So I was taking 21 hours at the time too.
Woo! Hold on.
My last semester, in order for me to graduate at the time, because I switched my major in the middle of my sophomore year. So in order for me to graduate, I had to take 21 hours.
That's 6 classes, ain't it?
Mhm.
I was tapped out at 16. I was stressed out, boy. That's crazy.
21, yes.
That's crazy.
So, I mean,
it was most of those electives?
No, this was my senior year. So I got my capstone, I got Spanish, I got some other PR and marketing classes. Yeah.
That's crazy. You different.
100%.
You
yeah.
different.
I mean, but I wanted to graduate. I was not playing no games. Like, I'm not about to be here for another semester. No, put those 21 hours on my books today. I guarantee I'm going to accomplish it. Yes, I don't play games. I don't. And that's why, like, I feel like I take myself way too serious. Like, I take myself way too serious sometimes because I'm just like, sometimes I don't relax because I'm always straight about the business, straight about. So like, even when I'm out and I'm like having dinner or something like that, I'm like, dang, this time I could be taking for myself. I could be doing business. Like, so this year and last year, I've been taking time to unravel and just chill and let go of control and actually enjoy myself. Like, I actually want to enjoy things. Like, I don't want to be out at dinner or hanging out with my friends or at the movies and I'm thinking about all these things that I could be doing other than being present in the moment.
Thanks.
So basically practicing being present and not thinking about the future or the past. That's one of my biggest goals that I want to accomplish this year, is being more present.
And you kind of pitch me into my next question. Because you're a very strong woman.
Thank you.
Honestly,
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. And you don't get that way unless you have some self elevation tools, some techniques. And I'm realizing a lot of these younger women or younger females coming up, they don't really see their self worth. So if you had to drop some gems on where a young woman should start at understanding herself and growing her self worth, her elevation, what would some gems be?
It all starts mentally. Women, men, whoever in general. It all starts with your mindset. Your mind creates everything that your body feels and everything that you project into the world. So starting with some shadow work, one.
What do you mean by shadow work?
Shadow work is sitting down with your journal, pen, and some paper, looking up questions that intrigue you and answering them. Answering them and then saying them out loud.
Like, you have some?
Yeah. So I was actually just doing this, what was it, last night or the night before last? So I went through a divorce at the beginning of last year, well, the middle of last year. And I've still been kind of working through that, working through my emotions with it. So I was on my computer and I was like, man, like, why do I feel like certain ways that I feel like about my ex? Why am I still having like certain emotions and like attractions and pulls and things like that? So I had to sit down with myself. So I'm like, okay, I'm Googling shadow work questions after divorce or shadow work questions after you break up with your ex, things like that. And one question that, like, multiple questions, but this one question that stood out to me the most was, what are some qualities that you were aggravated with by your ex? And I'm like, oh shit, I ain't never thought about that before. Okay, cool. So I started writing that down. And what I realized through that was I projected myself onto a lot of things. The ways that she was feeling, I was also feeling. So we projected them onto each other. So it's just not all her fault. It's mine too. Because the same way she had an attitude, as soon as she had an attitude, I had an attitude, which is not supposed to happen. If your spouse or somebody else you're dating has an attitude or whatever, you're not supposed to fight fire with fire. You're actually supposed to repress. You're supposed to leave, give that person some space or whatever you feel like maybe they would need, and then come back. Not y'all continue both shooting the shit with each other, because that doesn't work out. And also what I learned about myself last night or whatever, I learned that I shouldn't have anybody control over my emotions besides me.
That's deep facts.
You know what I'm saying? So just because I walk into work and somebody is pissed off doesn't mean my whole day has to be fucked up because they're pissed off. That has nothing to do with me. Your energy, your emotions all your shit stay with you. I shouldn't be a factor. So now what I've been learning about myself, since I am an empath, and that's what usually happens, I take on other people's emotions, is that I need to really feel what emotions feel like. That's why me being alone, I'm sitting in my sadness. I'm sitting in my happiness. I'm sitting in my loneliness. I'm sitting in my depression. If I ever feel an ounce or anything, I'm sitting in those emotions. I'm feeling those, because if I feel them and if somebody project those emotions off to me, I know how to let them go in my own way, because I've taught myself how to get out of a rut and in a way that makes me happy and not it's projecting onto other people. So that's what I learned.
That's deep. Dead ass. And that's just one. Do you have another one?
Another question was,
or another gem.
Another gem. Another technique, meditating.
Okay.
Meditating is whether you do it 2 minutes a day, however long you can sit there, it teaches you to be present in that moment. Because if you wake up and you're like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, blah, 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 why not wake up and say, dang, I'm alive?
You lose control of yourself.
Let me go watch the sunset really quick before I go to work. I mean, the sunrise before I go to work, or the sunset before, I wind down. People don't think about stuff like that. They're just like, oh, go mode, go, 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 go. No, chill. And I feel like that's where a lot of my humbleness has been coming from, because I'm just like, okay, I need to sit back. And I need to be present right here. I woke up this morning, still got my arms, my legs, my eyes, my ears. I can smell, talk. I need to be grateful for these things before I even step out this bed.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? So I would say practicing gratitude and gratefulness, meditating, and a lot of self actualization, and a lot of shadow work.
Okay, and those are definitely some gems. Well, I think people gonna have to rerun that back so they can catch on, because that'll fly over a lot of people's head. Like, I, in so many words and different actions, that's what I had to do with myself to really understand myself. And thinking about that, I thought about all the insecurities I've overcome. Do you have any?
Ooh, so many. I used to not be as confident. My confidence was like BS, because I used to devalue my abilities and my skills. So me, a couple years ago, I would walk into this room and you like, oh, Shay, can you do this and this and this? I'm like, oh yeah. And then I would be one of those people that walk out without doing anything. Yeah, I would be like that serious. I'd be telling you I could do all this stuff, and then I'd just be like, but it wouldn't be because I didn't want to. It would be because I wasn't confident in my abilities. I would talk myself out of it. I would be like, well, you can't really do this. Look how hard this is. Look how hard he's working, and you're not even working hard enough. You're not even doing anything. So I would feed myself with all of these negative things, and I would just walk out and give up, because I'm just like, you know what? I can't do this anyway. I don't even know why he invited me over here. This is stupid. I don't even know why we met. Like, God, why are you doing this? Like, I would just go into
it on God.
I'm telling you, like, I would just go in a rabbit hole. It would be so bad. But once I became confident in my abilities, I was like, I'm a badass. What you mean?
How did you get that confidence? Shadow work?
Yes, it was a lot of shadow work. I really had to open myself up. I really did. Like, I had to throw myself out there. I literally had to throw myself out there and tell myself I can do anything that I put my mind to. The sky is 100% the limit. There's nothing that I cannot do. I had to wake up and start telling myself that every single day. I had to look. I had to look in the mirror and say, girl, you are a badass. Do not let anybody make you feel less, because you could get in a relationship and somebody can tell you that you aren't shit and you believe that. Your family can tell you that you are not shit and you believe that. I've had people tell me in my life that I would never be anything because I was a lesbian. God would never bless me because I was gay. And you know how hard that is to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you're not going to be anything because you're gay.
That's deep.
And then you got other people around you telling you the same thing. So of course I'm not going to have any confidence. Of course I'm not going to see myself or value myself or believe in myself, because I got myself telling me all this negativity, and I got other people around me telling me the same thing. And what I said to myself, I was like, I don't give a fuck if I'm gay. I'm going to be somebody. And I want to be somebody that's so big and make an impact on this world to the point where nobody's going to ever forget me, even if I die.
That's deep.
So I know that's why everywhere I go, my job is to make an impact on one person. I don't care if I don't impact this whole crowd. Baby, if I look you in your face and I impact you, that's all I care about. God see me through you and see me through God. That's all that matters. Impacting one person.
I think that's easier said than done. Because with that, I know it came a lot of failure.
100%.
Yeah, and that's something you you don't have to touch on it if you want to. That's just something I want to be said because I don't want people thinking it's easy.
Yo, it's not
you said
easy.
You have to throw yourself out there. That when I thought about that with me, it was like that's like me saying I have to just go fail at shit, and then you start to grow through that failure.
That's all it is. It's learning through, and I don't see failure as failure or mistakes as mistakes. I don't see it as that. Every time that I go through an obstacle, I see failures and mistakes as obstacles. Because if you have obstacles, then you have on the other side of an obstacles, you have validation, you have introspection,
facts,
and you have victory.
And also chinks of armor, so motherfuckers can't get deep on you no more.
Exactly. So I see life as an obstacle. When people say, "Oh, I made this mistake," I'm like, "No, you went through an obstacle. It was a challenge, and you survived it, and you got through it." You know what I'm saying? People are like, "Oh, like I'm a failure." No, you're an achiever because you went through an obstacle and you are still here. You know what I'm saying? You still survive. So I don't know. That's just kind of my mindset behind things like that. But failure, failed at so many things, friendships, relationships. I failed myself at times because I left certain positions that I knew would elevate me, and I left them anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I had to restart. God is like, I just blessed you, and here you are messing it up because of what? Sex, because of lust, because of, you know, things that don't even really matter.
What's your sign?
I'm Sagittarius. I'm actually a cusp. So I end the Scorpio and I begin the Sagittarius. So I'm a mixture of both.
Okay. So let's keep on the timeline.
Okay.
Keep on the timeline.
Okay.
So it's really the same thing for the college, like the high school. What did you do with that bachelor's? Did you have plans with it?
So with my bachelor's, I just wanted to build businesses. Like that was my goal. So my first job actually was my senior year in college. I was an intern for the school. So I basically did the marketing for all of the restaurants and stuff like that in the school. And from there, I just kind of elevated. I was like, okay, well, I want to do marketing. I want to grow businesses. Okay, I'm asking God, please put me in the positions where I can elevate, where I can grow, but I'm also helping other people elevate and grow. So start off with intern, then I went and I started working as a marketing assistant for a printing company. I knew nothing about printing, of course. Knew nothing about printing at all. But worked there, and I had different hats. Like I was doing like client facing meetings and stuff like that. I was calling clients on the phone. We actually were pairing with, we had a what do you call it? I think it was called a mentor protege with another bigger printing company that had been around for a while. So we were collaborating with them. So yeah, and then I graduated again and I became a marketing coordinator for an automotive place, and that's when I'm showing you the videos. Okay. So I got into commercials and things like that, email posting, lead generation, and things like that. And then I graduated again, and what did I do after that? Marketing coordinator. Oh, well, I kind of actually didn't graduate. I kind of like started over because I moved back home. In the midst of my divorce, I had to move back home with my mom. So that was right before I came to St. Louis. So after I graduated, got this really big girl job making money, had to start over. My life completely started over.
So did your mama end up accepting you as a lesbian?
Oh yeah, okay. She did.
It sounded like it. Cause I don't think she would have let you move back in.
Well, no, my mom is very open.
Okay.
You know, even if she didn't 100% accept me, I feel like I'm her daughter. Like
Okay.
she would have still let me come back, you know, regardless of anything that's going on.
What made you get married so young?
Lord,
Well,
I thought I was in love. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I thought I was in love.
Hello. White or black?
Black.
Okay.
She was black. She was black. I thought that I had the woman of my dreams.
Mm.
I really did. Like I really thought that I had the woman of my dreams, and it just didn't work that way.
Yeah, shit happens, man.
Yeah, we just started living lives on two completely different spectrums, and we grew apart.
Mindset changed. I realized
Yeah,
the mindset, the energy we have now won't be nowhere to be found in our 30s.
exactly.
And then in our 40s, and then 50s, and then 60s. Like,
exactly.
And I think you built the perfect set of techniques, chinks of armor, and community around you to be able to adapt and handle that.
Exactly.
You know. Okay, so because we approaching an hour, we got things to do.
Oh Jesus,
we gonna get you back on here though,
Okay.
because there's a lot more stuff, a lot more questions I want to talk to you about.
Okay, 100%.
But something I ask all my guests: what's 1 to 3 gems you can drop on the community to help us grow?
Love each other. That's the biggest one. Forgiving each other too. A lot of anger and revenge comes from people not forgiving. That's unforgiveness. Deep.
Facts.
Really deep.
Learn to forgive too.
Learn to forgive. I love that. Yes. Learn to forgive. And learn how to stop doing things on your own all the time.
That's fucking deep. That's deep.
Learn how to do things with each other. 2 is way better than 1. 3, oh, you got a team. 4,
starting a relationship.
You doing it. You doing it because it's all about us bringing each other together, not tearing each other down or trying to split people apart. And that's how you build a community. You know, you focus on, like you said, and you taught me this. When you said, if I build my business, I want to bring people from all walks of life that has the ability to do different things so I can build a business to come together because I don't want to do all this on my own.
Facts. I don't, man.
He was like, I don't want to do all this, but I also want people, each person that I bring in that's a professional at what they do. You know what I'm saying? So you're just not looking for people that just say they do stuff. You are looking for professionals, and you want to bring all of these professionals together to create something that is going to help the community, already helping the community. So, you know, you taught me a lot about myself today. 100%. So I appreciate you for that.
Hey,
keep doing it.
I gotta add the value, man.
Yeah.
I gotta add the value. If I don't add the value, like I said, I feel like I'm not doing nothing. I feel like I'm just a piece of meat sitting around this motherfucker.
Exactly. Man. So keep doing that. Keep talking, telling how you feel. Don't talk about no more aliens. Man, y'all, we talked about aliens. I'm like, man, this man.
When they touch down, you better.
I'm not studying.
When they touch down, you better come to me and be like, "You're fucking right."
I am. If that ever happens,
I'm looking for you.
If I live to see it, I'm calling you.
We ain't got to. We pulling up in a spaceship. We pulling up on your ass like,
boy, bye.
Hey, Geneva, what's the word? I told you this big head green eyed nigga was real. Stop playing. Why? Why?
Dumb. I'm not doing this.
But hey, look, thank you for coming to Big Flex Overdose.
Yes. You're welcome.
You drop some gems.
Yeah, I do my best.
You drop some gems.
I do my